Please, God.
This is God.
Hey guys, the Explorer04 here, Horrorboy465. Welcome back to some more reviews, and today I'm getting to a film that really did surprise me, and that is my review of Dog Soldiers. Now, Dog Soldiers is a film from 2002. I thought it was from 2001 for some reason, but it's a film from 2002, and this is a steelbook, obviously, and really good design to the actual steelbook itself. I mean, the film, like I said, came out in 2002, gets a 6.8 on IMDb. Written by Neil Marshall, who would go on to direct The Descent. Of course, I believe there's like other films that he's done that I'm familiar with, like Doomsday, Centurion. I really enjoy Centurion. Doomsday, I've seen a little bit of it, and to be honest, it intrigued me. You know, it wasn't really that bad. I love The Descent. I've done a review for The Descent, but I love The Descent. Like I said, I like Centurion. I really enjoyed that movie. And Dog Soldiers is also a really good movie. So you got The Descent, Dog Soldiers, and Centurion. Those are all really good movies. So I'd definitely say this director has made some pretty solid stuff. And he did make Doomsday as well, which I hear does get, some different opinions on it, Doomsday, but from what I had seen of it so far, it intrigued me. The idea intrigued me. The movie itself was just a very interesting style, very interesting shot film. But I haven't seen it all the way through yet, but it was an interesting film. But Dog Soldiers is a movie that surprised me because the first time I seen this movie, I'll be honest, and I'm being completely honest with this, the first time I seen Dog Soldiers, I was honestly a little disappointed. Because while I was watching it, I was just like, man, this is, it's a slump. And this is just before now. This is before I watched it a couple of days ago. And the first time I watched the movie, I was just thinking, man, it's a slow movie. And, I was finding all kinds of problems with it and stuff. But I'll get to a little bit about that in a second. The steelbook itself, I mean, it has a very good design. I'm a big fan of steelbooks. I've also got a steelbook Blu-ray of It Follows. Really a big fan of steelbooks. I had a steelbook of the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but I actually don't remember what happened to that. And it's pretty much gone. But yeah, I mean, I think it got lost or something like that, or broken or something. I really don't remember. It's been a while since I've seen that steelbook. But yeah, the steelbook itself, it isn't the problem. The actual problem with this movie is it has 0 features. Literally, 0 features. I mean, it's a steelbook. You figure to give it some features. You figure to be a 2-disc set, but no, it doesn't really have any features. It really doesn't. I mean, there's not even a commentary on it. There's not even a featurette. Even a featurette, come on. At least a commentary, at least. Not even if you didn't want to get a featurette on there, just get a commentary. But there's literally 0 features on this DVD. Very good transfer. The movie looks and sounds pretty good. Good design on the steelbook, but as far as features go, it's lacking that. But like I said, this is a movie that the first time I was watching it, I don't know why this happened. Maybe I just wasn't getting into it. Maybe I just chose the wrong time to watch it. Maybe I was having a bad day. I really have no clue why the first time I seen this movie, I was disappointed. I really was. While I was watching this movie, I'm like, man, this movie is disappointing. For me, from what I can remember feeling about the movie before, was that it was slow, that there wasn't much going on, that the movie wasn't funny, and the movie didn't have good characters. Like I said, this is all before I rewatched it. And as a result of that, I don't think I finished the movie after the first time viewing. I think I just stopped watching after a little bit. So I have no clue why that happened. When I first watched this film, I just was not into it, I guess. And that's why for a while I've been wanting to watch it, but I've been sort of watching other things. I've seen other movies over this movie, and I kind of regret that because this movie surprised me this time around. I mean, I was going into it, and I was like, man, the first time I seen it, I wasn't too much of a fan of it. I don't know if it would have been a rant if I would have reviewed it the first time, but it wouldn't have been a review where I was like, oh, it's a great movie and stuff like that, because really, the first time I seen it, it was just a movie that I thought it wasn't really, you know, again, I don't know why I was thinking this, but I was just putting it maybe in the okay category. It's okay. And the first time I watched it, I really wasn't getting the movie. I think that's what I probably was the problem with my first time watching this movie, is I really wasn't getting it, or I wasn't really following it that well, or like I said, maybe I just picked a bad day to watch the film. But this time around, watching it again and really getting into the movie, and really getting into the characters, really getting into the dialogue, really getting into the build up of the story, the build up of the characters, and it really drew me in this time. And I have no clue why. I have no clue how. Um, it was really one of those movies where when I go back and watch it now, it's better than the first time I watched it. It's watch this again. I mean, this movie is a very well made werewolf film. I would have to say my favorite werewolf film would have to be An American Werewolf in London. I love that film to death. I love this film as well. This is a really well made movie. I wouldn't say it's probably as good as American Werewolf in London. I still really enjoy it. It's definitely easily one of my favorite werewolf movies of all time. But I think that what's really good about this movie is that it's sort of its own film. It sort of does its own thing. I like the simplicity of the movie. It's definitely got a very simple plot. I mean, you got werewolves, involved in this military plot of the soldiers. So you have a bunch of soldiers, pretty much a handful of soldiers versus this pretty much clan of werewolves, or the soldiers. I don't know, like the soldiers versus the werewolves. So it's a very, very interesting idea, and I just really enjoy the way the movie sets up. I like the movie's beginning. I like the movie how it starts off, and it builds characters, and you get to know these characters a little bit. Not all of them. Some of them get kind of overlooked, but the few that you do know are pretty cool. Like, you got Sean Pertwee in this movie. Sean Pertwee from Gotham. He was also in another scary movie or another. He's been in probably lots of them, but Sean Pertwee is a really good actor. I remember him as Alfred from Gotham. He got a good lead in the movie, Kevin the Kid. I'm not too familiar with his filmography, but definitely a good lead. Did a great job acting wise. It was a lead that you rooted for. You got Liam Cunningham playing an awesome bad guy. So I mean, you got a really good cast in this movie. I mean, this movie's got a lot of stuff going for it. It's got a good script. It's got a good cast. It has fun with the idea. It's werewolves versus a group of soldiers in this house. I like the idea that it's the underdogs versus the werewolves. That this giant group of werewolves would they're challenging these humans, and I just love how the soldiers just do the best they can to fight back against these werewolves. And the werewolf designs, they're pretty creepy in this movie. There's actually not even a picture on here of the werewolves, but they're very creepy in this movie. Very tall, practical. This movie is all practical. I did not see one shot of CGI, at least bad CGI, and it wasn't even noticeable if there even was CGI in this movie. For me, all the things I seen in this movie was practical. So if there was some CGI, I totally missed it, and they did it well. So yeah, it's a practical film, practical gore. It's definitely a very gory, bloody movie. You've got a pretty good twist at the end of the film. You've got a really great script, a really great idea. You have good actors. You have a good lead. You have really well filmed scenes, really well done atmosphere, especially when they get to the house they pretty much hold up in. I mean, that atmosphere was freaking great. The nighttime scenes, the night sequences, and the way the movie has the fog in the background, the mist, and just very, very well done atmosphere in this movie. Just that's another thing I gotta mention. This movie is very well shot, very well directed by by Neil Marshall. I gotta remember that guy's name. Neil Marshall. And he did a really good job writing this movie, directing this movie. I mean, the movie has a great look to it. So yeah, this movie's got a lot of stuff going for it. I mean, I really can't think of too many problems. I mean, not even really any, to be honest. I mean, this movie it's a very solid film. It's a very solid film. But to get into the plot, I do apologize for rambling on about my thoughts on the movie, but the plot, I mean, it's a very simple plot. You got the beginning of the movie, the lead character, Kevin McKidd, he's running to the woods, and you find out that he's trying to become, or he's doing this training of this test to join the Special Forces team, and he fails. He gets spotted by a dog, and he fails. And he's told if he does want to join the Special Forces, he has to shoot this dog, and this dog didn't do anything wrong at all. And the lead guy, Kevin McKidd, does the right thing. You know, he says this dog didn't do anything to deserve to get shot, and he's not going to do it. And Liam Cunningham is sort of the leader of this Special Forces group, and he's a really, really big jerk in this movie. He did a really good job playing a jerk in this movie, Liam Cunningham. He takes a pistol out and shoots the dog, and Liam Cunningham, like, freaking punches him or attacks him, and, you know, he pretty much tells him, you're not going to go on the team, so go back to your team. And he goes back to his team, which is these group of these soldiers, these normal soldiers. They're out in the woods. It's not really, it's supposed to be like a drill or a practice where it's them versus the Special Forces, but they got blank rounds. But then you find out the Special Forces, they're using like traps, and, you know, they're using all this advanced stuff, and it's like they're pretty much being unfair. And it's pretty much the soldiers versus the Special Forces team, or a Special Force team. And it's all supposed to be just, you know, okay, it's just practice and stuff like that. So the plot alone is actually pretty interesting. You know, the soldiers, the underdogs versus this elite team, and the soldiers in the end won because they're the last one standing. All the Special Forces are pretty much dead. I like that idea. And as the movie goes along, get to know the characters. You know, Sean Pertwee is the leader of this group, the Sarge. He does a very good job. Has actually a very good scene where he's like telling a past story about one of his past missions where a guy pretty much got blown up in this tripwire or blown up in this bomb pretty much. And, you know, he had a tattoo on his butt cheek. That's how he remembers the guy. And he's like, he pretty much tells a story. And, you know, the story's very well done. It's very intense. It's very, you know, it draws you in. You know, he's talking about the guy, talking about, you know, he really liked what he did. He was a soldier, and you really got into the story. And then when it got to gruesome details, you really felt that story. So Sean Pertwee sold it. The acting was very good. The way the camera just sort of zooms in very, very slowly, or it moves around very slowly, and that silence in the background of the soldiers just listening to the story. I don't know. Very, very well done scene. Definitely one of my favorite scenes in the film is the scene where Sean Pertwee is telling the story of a past mission. Really enjoyed that scene. And the movie goes on, and they find the Special Forces team. They find what's left of them. They find like guts and pretty much goo, piles of freaking red mushy goo, because these Boros freaking destroyed the Special Forces teams, or the team, because there's just two teams in the woods. But pretty much they find the rest of the equipment in the Special Forces camp destroyed. They get live rounds and actual guns, and they, you know, get some flares and whatever they can pretty much get from this camp, whatever's left pretty much. And they realize that something has happened, that it's no longer a game, this is for real. And one of the guys is still alive, Liam Cunningham. I almost said Sean Cunningham, but he's the director of Friday the 13th. No, Liam Cunningham. He's still alive, but he has a slash like right here. And they get attacked by these werewolves. A lot of the guys get killed. This one guy, you know, gets pretty much where he runs into a branch. Like, the werewolf doesn't even kill him. He just like runs and runs and runs, and he just, boom, gets impaled by a branch. So the werewolf didn't really even kill him there. they finish the job because they slashed his face or whatever. And the werewolf, you know, one of them cuts the Sarge, and his guts are like literally falling out. And it's a pretty crazy scene. It's practical effects and stuff. And they're getting attacked by these werewolves, and they go to this house. So this girl actually picks them up. She helps them out, take them to a nearby house. They hold up there. They barricade the house up. The werewolves arrive. There's lots of werewolves. They try different things to fight back until the end of the movie. And, of course, along the way, people get knocked off one by one until you find out this girl. She is pretty much, I guess, in this family of werewolves. This is actually their house. And she brought the soldiers there. And really good twist, because I didn't see it coming. She brought the soldiers there, and she was actually baiting them the whole time. You know, there was no near town. There was no way out. She was just bringing them there for bait. And, you know, definitely very good twist. And she turned into a werewolf. And I just love, at the end of this movie, how the odds just literally... This is a very good example of how you can do this in a horror film. I mean, the odds in this movie are insanely stacked upon these soldiers. I mean, there's like 4 or 3 soldiers left. There's a guy named Spoons, which I really enjoyed. There's Sean Pertwee and Kevin the Kid. And I believe everybody else dies. Or everybody else has gotten killed. And I just love how there's just this group of werewolves versus 3 soldiers. And yet these soldiers still fight. They still don't give up. I love that part in this movie. That's one of my favorite stuff about this movie is that, you know, the soldiers, they do not give up. No matter how much they get pushed. No matter how many men they lose. No matter how much the odds get stacked up against them. They really do not give up in this film. And even Spoons fights to the death. I mean, the character Spoons, he's a very funny character. Very, very interesting, very funny character, you know. And he even fights, at the very end of the movie, he fights to the death. I mean, he's punching the werewolf, fighting him, taking, like, pans and stuff and hitting him in the face, taking knives and stabbing him. He's fighting with everything he got, and then, of course, he gets killed, gets bit. And he says, I hope I give you the craps, or something like that. Like, I hope, like, when you eat me, I hope you get the craps. Or he says something like that. I kind of forgot it. But it was a very, very good line from, you know, I know it's like, well, you forgot it. That was a good line. But, you know, I forgot it, but I do remember being a very good line. Like, you know, he did get killed, but he went out in a fight. And Sean Pertwee realizes that he's going to turn into a werewolf soon. So he sends Kevin the Kid in the basement of the house and blows up the house. And you have Liam Cunningham. You found that, of course, earlier in this movie, he turned into a werewolf because he got scratched. And he fights Kevin the Kid, messes him up, and Kevin the Kid has this, like, silver sword. And I like the scene because they're fighting. Kevin the Kid's getting beat up. He's the only person left. He's getting punched and thrown across in the basement. And then the Liam Cunningham werewolf takes the sword, and, you know, Kevin the Kid stops the sword, but it, like, gets right in between his teeth. It about gets him in the face. The sword almost hits him in the face. And I just like how Kevin the Kid pretty much, I think he, like, blows its head off with a gun. Yeah, because he gets a gun, and he blows his freaking head off, I think, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, pretty much kills the werewolf, and that's the end of the movie. Kevin the Kid survived. The soldiers won. I love that ending. Very well done fight between him and Liam Cunningham as a werewolf. And very well made movie. Really enjoyed it. I thought it was a very fun, very entertaining film. That's a very, very solid movie. There's really nothing I can say that's bad about this movie. I mean, it has great effects, great acting, great characters. You know, I did say before, I wish that more characters would have gotten more screen time. Like, other characters in the squad, they should have been more focused on. But, you know, that's no big deal. Still a very well-made movie. Really enjoyed it. And, yeah. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching my reviews. Well, thanks for watching my review on Dog Soldiers. And before I go, I want to mention one more thing. I got a plan after this. I think I know what I'm going to be reviewing after this. And I know it's like kind of pointless to review it now, but you know, I figured I'd review it because back when my computer broke, I couldn't review these, so I'll review them now. And actually, if you give me a second, I'm about to get them, so I'll be right back. This will be a really quick cut, but I'll be right back. And the movies that I will be reviewing, the franchise that I will be reviewing, the one, the only, the legendary Friday the 13th franchise. So I'll be reviewing these as soon as I can, from 1 to the remake and then the documentary. His name was Jason. So it's going to be a very long series of videos, but I love this franchise. I just adore the Friday the 13th franchise. I mean, it's a great franchise, and I can't wait to review it. So yeah, guys, my next review, or my next franchise review, is the Friday the 13th franchise. So yeah, can't wait to do that. It's going to be fun. But yeah, that's the next franchise I'm going to review. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching my review on Dog Soldiers, and I will see you guys a little bit later on, maybe tomorrow, maybe the next day, on starting my reviews on the Friday the 13th films. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching the review. The Explorer of Horror, out. See you guys later.